Hello and welcome to Long Beach by Night Season 2 for our sixth and final bonus epilogue, Judges of Doom.
Oh, I don't like that.
Normally I would say let's meet our vampire, but we don't have any vampires. We have who do we have?
I am Jake, and I am playing Joey, the Shadow Lord.
Welcome back, sir. As independent content creators, now more than ever, we rely on the generosity of viewers like you, both in the form of your bits and tips, and of course, in supporting the sponsors that make this show possible. As always, Dogmite. You've seen my gorgeous Dogmite screen, which I should just make like a shield out of that I could just be like, so I can still have it here. But Dogmite makes custom gaming screens. There's 30 to choose from. You can specify how you want it to look, the colors, the accoutrement. You can make one that is unique to you as mine is to me. So they make kick-ass gaming products. So visit dogmite.com to find out more. There is Backblaze, backblaze.com/Long Beach by Night. Backblaze is the preeminent data backup service used by fine, discriminating kindred and apparently lupines everywhere. You can keep all your files safe from the lurking eyes of the Second Inquisition, Nosferatu, Sneaky Slua, and even prying Shadow Lords. You can back up videos, photos, all your data. You can access it via mobile device, $6 a month, no strings attached. Visit backblaze.com/Long Beach by Night to find out more. Level Up Dice, again, the makers of fine pinky up luxury gaming accessories. They do make licensed Vampire the Masquerade clan dice. I love my beloved Ventru dice. May you find the dice of your clan there. And also the standard polyhedral dice made out of all sorts of like amazing, interesting, and fascinating materials that you might not even know was possible to get dice made out of. And yet. So visit my link, bit.ly/LUD B Dave Walters to find out more. Games for Love is a 501c3 kindness-oriented charity aimed at easing the suffering of children and increasing their quality of care. Especially now with the COVID pandemic, a lot of the kids that are already in hospitals that may have had compromised immune systems have had to go into heavy quarantine, and that's tough being by yourself. So we're raising money to buy gaming consoles, controllers, things like that, so they can play Animal Crossing too. And every $10 donated directly impacts the lives of 2 children. So visit gamesforlove.org to find out more. And last but certainly not least, shout out to a friend of mine. Visit murphypop.com. A friend of the show, Megan, is an astonishing artist. She makes a lot really dope custom artwork. You can buy some of her prints and things that are already up. You can commission her to do things. She's drawn pictures of several people on the Discord. The sweet tooth stickers and things. I know, Jake, you super got caught on the spot and we're filming in an unusual way, but if you have any of the stickers or swags around, feel free to hold one up.
I do have these, which are on the wall.
What? See? Yes. There you go. So visit murphypop.com to support homie during this time of crisis when we all have to come together to help support the arts. Now, that being said, on with our lupine story.
Yeah, because this ain't no vampire story.
This is not a vampire story. We're in uncharted territory here. Joey, roughly a week has passed since the events of St. Valentine's show, when some of your fellow Shadow Lords turned up along with the Giovanni and made their play. You defeated Bronx in combat and made Mickey bow down and pledge his allegiance to you. And in the aftermath of that, a lot of the strings that you pull for cleanup kind of went through. In the media, the story was basically again a tragic accident. The halon system malfunctioned. Some people tragically died. There was no negative press for St. Valentine, no negative press for the Black Damp, and most importantly, no negative press came back on you or on the Giovanni. And in the nights hence, things have still been relatively quiet. In the nights since you had your run-in with Violet, what has Joey been up to?
Well, he's been trying to keep low as much as he possibly can because he is more than aware of how many people are currently severely pissed off at him. But he's been working with Mickey. Joey's trying to get on the rebound, basically. You know, with Vi and that conversation, and with Mickey, you know, taking a knee. It reminded me why I am who I am, and reminded me that I really need to start getting my pack back together. Rightfully, the pack that I want, not the pack that I was born into.
But tonight, you have guests over. Who has come? Well, first, remind us, what does Joey's house look like? We've been here once before, but give it to us again, just in case.
Yeah, of course. So it's interiorly, it's pretty modern, very simple. There's not a lot that is in the house itself. There's large bay windows, but all of the windows have secured locking mechanisms that will go down and completely block out all sunlight. There's a giant white wall that has a whole bunch of what looks to be just random, just paint all over the place. There's a massive beanbag in the living room, and there's a single blue vase, and a couple of seats, but it's very much simple. There's not a lot there.
And tonight, you have a guest over. Who's here to visit?
That'd be Paisley.
Paisley? What does Paisley look like, by the way?
She's kind of short, like 5'4". She's got pink hair that's usually a little messy under a hat. Glasses that she does not need, but she wears all the time. And she always has a bag with her that has sketchbook, markers, and all sorts of other random stuff. She's not even sure totally all that's in there.
Does Paisley have the gun with the 22 hollow point silver bullets that Fawn gifted her? Does she have that in her bag?
Oh yeah, she knows it's important. She understood that's especially if she's got to protect somebody. She's got it in there.
Got it. Now that you all are hanging out on a standard night in Long Beach, what does it look like when Joey and Paisley are kicking back?
So we're probably Paisley is probably under the beanbag.
Absolutely. She dove in there. First time she came, it's like, ah!
Yeah. So Paisley's probably under the beanbag, and Joey's probably making food for himself. It's a relaxed evening at home, you know. Nothing, you know. There's not a lot that we can do right now since I'm trying to keep the low down, you know, trying not to show my face a lot of places.
She'd be under the beanbag. How's the food coming? I mean, it smells horrible because I don't like food, but I mean that's probably good for you, though, right?
It's going well, sweetheart. It's don't worry. I'll open the window and I'll let the air out.
Oh no, it's okay. I know you like it. I'm under the beanbag. I'm fine. Like only like maybe 30% of it's getting in here.
I open the window.
What would Joey be making for himself?
Oh, nice meaty steak. Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Joey, while you're there cooking away, Paisley, give me your wits and awareness.
Ooh. Oh, hey. Okay. That is 5.
Paisley, as you're sort of, trying to will yourself not to smell, you notice down the hallway towards one of the bedrooms, your second sight sort of comes to you unbidden, and you see a small face looking around one of the corners, looking at you.
Ah!
Just-
Ah! Oh. And she peeks out from under the beanbag. Hi. Hi. Ah. Yeah, it's bad.
She's like,
Okay. I'll be back, Joe. I'm just gonna walk down the hall for no reason at all. And she'll kind of slither out of the beanbag and follow.
as you head that direction, you when you get a little closer, you can see it's a little girl's face. And when you come that way, she like sort of looks around like excitedly and then like heads into the room.
She'll look around a little, and then Paisley will follow.
When you first get into the room, you don't see her.
Oh, I know this game. Okay. I'm gonna look behind the door.
Nothing's there.
Okay. Oh, you're so good at this. She's gonna get down on the floor and like look under everything.
As you get down on the floor, out of the corner of your eye, you see a closet open, and she looks and then closes the closet again.
Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay, where should I look? Definitely not the closet. I'm gonna look in the closet. I'm very impatient. She goes over.
And she's not. And you see she lunges forward and she puts her arms around you, and you do feel like a little hug.
Oh, thank you. Oh, you're Paisley will try to hug back.
It's you kind of are aware of roughly the prey. You can see her, and you like sort of. It almost feels almost like a tingle. It's almost like a static electricity.
Oh,
yeah.
That tickles. I love it.
She lets go and she like points over at something, like towards the corner of the room.
Oh, okay. And Paisley will follow her pointing.
You see there is a nightstand almost, and there's a framed picture on it, and it's a framed crayon. It is like number one dad, and it's like Joey with like big muscles.
Paisley will go over to the picture and she'll pick it up, and she'll look at it, and she'll look at the girl, and she'll go, "Oh, okay, yeah, I knew this. I knew this, and I know this again. Did you draw that? Yeah. Wow. Oh, this is really, really good. And you did it really good. You're like, that really looks like him."
She touches your hand and kind of turns your hand over where of course, your fingers are marked over markers and pin marks and things. And she just like points at your fingers. You go,
"Oh, I could try sometimes. Sometimes I'm not so good at it. You're really good at it, though." And Paisley puts the picture down. Yeah, no, you're good.
And then she stops for a moment and she like sort of goes like thanks, and she like points at you, and she points at the picture. I apologize, I'm trying to do this without dropping my microphone. And she just sort of goes,
Oh, you approve. That. And Paisley feels very genuine. That means a lot. I love him. I love your dad very much. And yeah, he's the best guy, and the best wolf. Yeah, he's so strong. He gets so big. Yeah.
you start to hear like a light beep of a smoke alarm.
Oh no. You said I gotta go help. I think because I don't want to burn up.
She goes,
Oh, okay. Oh, it's a secret. Okay, it's all set. She gives you like everybody thumbs up she can give.
yeah.
And she'll kind of like pad away over to the kitchen and see what's going on.
She turns like very suddenly, like she's doing something like no big deal, and like dives behind a couch like she's hiding. Like,
I never saw her. Wow, you disappeared. She goes,
yeah, Joey, what does Paisley find in the kitchen when she comes back?
Joey with a towel flapping the smoke out of the window. Joey has replaced all of his gas burners with electric burners, so there's like no open flames or anything. But I may have gotten distracted and let the steak burn a little bit, which is not good. You know, that's horrible. It's almost like throwing now I got to feed it to some dog. You know what I mean? Like I can't eat this. It's not worth eating. But yeah, I'm taking out and just flapping the smoke out the window.
Oh, no, are you okay? Are you okay? It's okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I don't know what happened. I just looked at my phone and I stopped paying attention, and I burnt this perfectly good steak.
Oh, you got fuzzy. That happens to me all the time. It's okay.
No, I know. It's gonna be all right. There's just a lot going on.
Well, I'm sorry. I know. I wish I could help. I'm not good at business.
Don't say that. You're helping out a ton. You're here with me. You know, I know you're safe. You know, it's fine. Everything is going to be okay. It's just a lot to take on at once.
Yeah, I know. And Paisley looks like she's listening, but maybe she doesn't totally believe that she's helping.
Sure.
Paisley, give me your let's see. Give me your resolve and aspects.
6.
Joey, you see, like, while Paisley's talking to you there, she sort of gets that look on her face that you're kind of accustomed to, where she sort of starts to just look through you. And Paisley, you see the sight comes to you unbidden, and you're talking to Joey, and you can see him, and you smell this stinky steak and everything, and then it's like the smoke gives way to sort of mist, and you're standing in it, and you kind of hear ringing, like you're on the shore, like there's the buoy out, and you can hear the lapping of water, but you can't quite see anything where you are, and you hear wolves howling in the distance, very loud, and you see a picture of Lula, and she's standing there, and she looks happy, but like the wind comes along and blows it, and it starts to like rotate. It's like one of those spinning signs where it's like a small animation, and you see Lula and she's happy, and then you see Lula and she's sad, and you see Lula and she's happy, and you see Lula and she's angry, and you see Lula and she's happy, and you see Lula and she's got a gun out, and like boom, and the gun goes off right in your direction.
Huh.
And the howling starts to get louder, and you realize that the bullet that Lula fired wasn't at you at all, but right behind you, you see very fancy people, where before when you saw the prom skeletons, it's not like the prom skeletons. It's like Beauty and the Beast. It's like you see, it's like old gilded furniture that is up and walking and dancing, but it is like coming up behind you. And Lula pulls out the gun and like shoots at a broom that was right behind you. And as you turn and you see all of this like animated anthropomorphic furniture coming up from the south that is all gilded and fancy, you finally realize the sound of the ocean is getting louder and louder and louder and louder, and you turn and you realize there's a tidal wave that is right there about to crash over all of you, and you're back.
Okay. She'll hug Joey really tight. And she's like, okay, there's like the ocean and there's like wolves, and then Miss Bear Lula was there, and she was like happy, and then she was sad, and then she had a gun and she was shooting at stuff, and I think Lumiere was trying to shank me or something because it was like really scary, and then the ocean was gonna cover us all. And okay, but I'm here now. Okay. I'm here now, but that wasn't good. I don't think that's good stuff. I think furniture is coming for us. Or maybe a metaphor. Oh, I'm not good at metaphor.
What kind of furniture was it?
Oh, it's like fancy stuff, like like gilded, fancy, like snooty furniture. This furniture judged me.
All right, not 100% sure what that is, but it's something to go on. And Joey, while still allowing, like Paisley's still holding, picks her up and walks over to the fridge, opens the fridge, pulls a bag out and hands it to Paisley, and closes the fridge, and then just kind of like holds on to her, thinking about it. Like, who is fancy? I mean, there's a lot of fancy people out there that could and want to deal with us. All right.
She'll she just kind of takes one little thing, kind of delicately nips the corner, and just kind of sucking it. Fancy people are jerks.
Yeah. Let me send some feelers out. Let me see who that might be. And I pull my phone out and I go to send a message, and I'm like, I don't have anyone I can call right now. Well, I guess I'll shoot Lula a text message. Maybe she'll know something. Since she was in it, she might as well know.
She had a gun, like this big gun.
Yeah, that gun. Y'all with guns right now starting to scare me. I'm gonna be completely honest with you.
I've got two now. One's kind of small and one's kind of big.
Paisley, do you have your guns with you? I mean,
yeah,
we established you had the small one. Do you have the other one?
Yes. She has her rainbow danger tube in her bag as well.
Do you show either of these to Joey?
Oh, absolutely. She's like, okay, actually, I think I'm ready for this. And she opens up her bag and she pulls out like the little pink 22, and then the kind of giant, kind of like rhino iridescent rainbow. Like, I got two. Pew pew.
Yes. She does have a very small pink 22 with a pearl inlaid handle, Joey. It's the gun disappears in your palm. You realize, like, if you even wanted to pull the trigger on this weapon, it would be difficult to you. It is so small. It's big enough that it's the clip only holds 722 rounds. Like, I mean, it's a Derringer holdout gun. The other one is almost cartoonishly large. It is a Desert Eagle .50, like what Lula's got, but it is rainbow patterned. It is like if someone special ordered a weapon expressly for Paisley and they were deeply concerned about her safety and well-being. This would be it. It is a Paul Frank death dealer. Yes.
Paisley gets worried though. She's like, okay, she almost like puts her hand over the small one in his and says, don't open it. The bullets are that's not good for you. The tips aren't good for you.
You'd mentioned that before. I just don't point it at me. That's all I ask.
How would I ever point a gun at you?
Have you gotten trained in that yet?
A little more than I was.
I know there was someone up in the valley that used to have a gun range. Used to, being the key word. Well, we should figure out, and we should get you a little bit better with that, just in case. Gun safety is super important.
I mean, I just leave them in my bag. That's safe, right?
Yeah, no, Joey. These, like, the safeties are on, but they are just clanking around in her bag.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and like this anti-aircraft gun could basically go off at any time, essentially.
No, we should really find someone that will be able to help you out with the guns. Just for basic safety training, get you to properly learn how to fire. So when you need to use it, if you ever need to, which I hope it never comes down to that, you're prepared and you know exactly what to do.
She gets a real intense look on her face. When I have to, I will.
Exactly.
Yeah. Ooh, give me the guns back.
I I'm like, okay. And I slowly hand them one in each hand, and I'm like, please be careful.
Okay, I take care of my cute babies, and she kisses them, and she puts them back in her bag.
Joey, you hear just very faintly off in the distance howling. And it's a howl you do not recognize. You kind of know the players in Long Beach. That's what howling is for. To, hey, I'm here. You know? Oh, hey, I'm here. You know? you know the locals. You don't know this howl.
I want to go out to the backyard, which has a nice pool, by the way. And I would like to just focus and try to listen and see how far away they may be.
When Paisley, do you come outside with him?
She'll see if he kind of like motions for her to stay, but if he doesn't, then she'll follow behind.
Yeah, no, I'm not
quiet.
I'm not telling her to stay.
Yeah, she'll follow.
He very much looks like he's listening to something, and you hear it too, Paisley. But again, you're like, yeah, I mean, it's like a dog or something. Like, who knows? When you hear it the second time, Joey, when you come outside, you realize it's a request for permission to entry. Essentially, it is essentially, I recognize I'm at the edge of your territory. Can I enter it?
I howl back a yes.
Do you shift forms or anything, or do you just throw your head back and let it rip?
No, I'm staying the way I am for right now, but I'm going to bring the diaphragm into it and get to the volume I need to get to.
From down there. Paisley, have you ever witnessed him do such a thing? Just throw his head back and just...
Yeah, in fact, she's like, do I need to say something too? I've been practicing.
Sure, go for it.
Joey, she shouldn't say that about someone's mom. Like, not just like, you can't just.
I have a dirty howl. I'm sorry.
Joey, from the way things are done, that if somebody's entering if they're stopping to ask permission, then the customary thing is for them to present themselves to you. Mm-hmm. So you should probably expect company soon if they're following protocol.
I look back at Paisley and I go upstairs. There's a window that can look out into the back door. If you need to, you know where the safety switches are. Close the doors and lock yourself in if anything happens. I'll deal with it out here.
Okay. And she just turns and goes right away.
Okay. Joey, what do you do?
I walk over. I walk back into the kitchen. I pull out a bottle of whiskey and I pour myself a glass. And I walk back out to the pool and I sit down and I wait for them.
Paisley, when you get up to the top floor, how many floors is the house? Not because we know there's an underground level. How many?
Just two. There's the ground floor, the second floor, and then there's the basement. So,
Paisley, as you sort of look out over the street, you see there are a number of pale blue spectral wolves. They're all.
Yeah, she'll watch. I don't know if she's seen them before.
You have not. They give me your wits and awareness, Paisley.
Three.
You think there's probably about 8 of them out there, and as you're looking, you can't quite say for certain, but it's almost like they're made out of clouds and lightning. It's like they're made out of thunder and lightning. Like the blue sort of just like shimmers as you're looking at them there. And a few minutes later, you see a large a large bright red Range Rover come pulling up. But it's very much like the real Range Rover. It's like the kind you go out into the Serengeti in. The Range Rover pulls up in the front of the house. Joey, you hear it, but you don't see it.
I get up and I slowly walk over to the front door. And I take a moment. I breathe. Straighten my jacket. And I walk out.
The driver's side opens up, and you see a man that you've seen before, Joey. He's also wearing a nice tailored suit. He gets out of the driver's side and he walks over to the passenger side, and he opens the door. And what looks like an older woman gets out. She might be Italian, Mediterranean, some sort. She's got long white hair, and she's wearing ritual robes that you very much recognize, Joey. You've never really seen such a thing, Paisley. You realize these two are two of the judges of doom. They are Shadow Lord representatives who have to decide the guilt or innocence of someone in a dispute, and if necessary, carry out the punishment.
I recognize it, and I finish my drink, set it off to the side. Well, I wasn't expecting this.
In my experience, no one ever is. You would think that we of all kinds would learn how to watch our backs a little bit more. Hello, Joseph. And she holds her hand out for you to kiss it.
I take it and I kiss her hand. Would you like to come in? We have a nice patio in the back. I think that would be the best place to be.
Please do lead on. The man sort of steps up to you. You recognize his name is Dawkins. The older woman's name is Mother Teague. Mm-hmm. He just sort of looks at you for a second, but then he does extend his hand. He's like, Joey.
I shake it.
He's like, you know why we're here, right?
I'm assuming from what has happened recently, there's probably many reasons why you're here.
They walk in, and both of them immediately are like, Joseph, you and those creatures.
This way?
And they do follow you out to the back.
Mm-hmm. Out in the backyard, there's a nice sized pool, but it's kind of like a cliffside a little bit. So there's a nice view of the sky. And that's primarily why I have this place is the fact that I get to see the moon most of the night when it's out. And so that's where we're kind of convening.
You see, when you come out, Mother Teague does sort of like raise her head and let the light of the moon and the stars shine on her face for a little bit. And she's like, light pollution is terrible, but this is still a lovely place.
Yes, I wish I could see more of the stars. There's a couple nice places up in the hills that you can go to and still get to see a nice view, but can't be too far away from civilized people, right?
She walks over and she makes a beeline for the exact spot where you were sitting before and sits down in your chair. And I
kind of raise my eyebrow and shake it off and just sit down.
He continues standing by the door, basically. So he would be between you and the house, mm-hmm. and just sort of stands there with his hands folded. And she says, well, Before we get started, is there anything you would like to say?
I figure anything I have to say is going to come out with questioning that you may have. We all do things. I don't hold any ill will against those who have done things against me. But let's find out if I've done anything to harm others.
Joseph, your pack has always been a splinter because of your connection to those Giovanni. But family is family, and we, the greater Shadow Lord family, turned a blind eye to what was happening down here. But recent events have made it clear that we needed to make our presence known, at least to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know why I'm here and what I'm tasked to do, correct?
Well, I mean, there's nothing that we can do about it other than to get through with it, right?
She reaches in a little pouch and takes out like a bluish stone. And she puts it on the table, and when she does, it sort of crackles and a cloud appears over it and immediately starts to rain. And you see as it starts to rain, the cloud starts to get a little bit lower and lower and lower as the rain starts. And she's like, we can only do what we can with the time that Grandfather Thunder allows us, correct?
Tried to do the best that I could, but let's see. What else can I do?
Dawkins speaks up and he says, Joey, I personally got no beef with you and the Giovanni. Business is business. I've done my fair share of deals that I'm sure other people would have looked down their nose at. I don't care. There's times those Nosferatu, no useful things. There's times the Slua, no useful things. There's times that you got to go where the money is, for lack of a better word. But the shit's getting out of hand, man.
I agree with that. I have recently separated myself from the Giovanni, if I assume you already know that. But it doesn't mean that I've separated myself from the kindred.
Mother Teague speaks up and says, I wouldn't assume what we do or don't know. Again, we're here to do you the respect of hearing it from you, so that we don't have to make our decision with incomplete information.
Understandable. I just hold high regard of what I believe that you can do and what you have done. I have, if we must, separated myself with the Giovanni. There has been a crack in that relationship for quite a while between me and them. And as of recent events, it has completely severed. And while I do find, as our good friend over here has said, I do find that the kindred are very useful. Yes, they're not like us, but who else are? Doesn't mean that we can't have a relationship with them.
She does crinkle her nose when you say that, and she's like, you pups. Back in my time, any one of those leashes I came across only met my teeth and claws, but I understand that there are times where diplomacy and negotiation is what's important. And she just sort of does like this, which, Joey, you don't know what that means. Paisley, you see the wolves all start walking towards the house.
So, what exactly are the charges, for lack of a better term, that you have against me?
I have a question for you first, Joseph.
Of course.
You say you've severed your ties, but they were the pack you chose. So why would you turn your backs on them now?
I pause for a minute and kind of look around. You know of my past, yes? Of my family. The family in which I once had.
I do, and my condolences.
They had the ability to help me. Maybe not the way that I wanted them to help me, or the fact that I never wanted that for my daughter, but I asked them. I begged them. She could have been alive. She could still be here today. And she wasn't worthy to them. So she's gone. And that was the start of it. I realized at that moment it wasn't just a relationship. It wasn't really, truly family. It was business. And then I latched on to Valentina. Just something about her. Her eyes reminded me of her. And I wanted to protect her the way I couldn't protect my own daughter. And then I fucked that up too. And it further drove a rift between our relationship, or partnership, or whatever you want to call it. There were people that were there for me, that helped me out. And I realized that maybe I needed to reevaluate. And so I made a decision that I was going to leave. And they weren't too happy about that.
Paisley, in the room, the wolves start appearing near the window and basically walking straight towards you. They're not between you and the door, but they're between you and the window.
She's gonna put her hands out and kind of get low and be like, "Hey, hi, wolves. Can you hear me?"
And like all of their lips kink back, and you see all of their teeth. And instead of growling, you hear the sound of thunder. And Joey, you hear that from inside the house. You hear thunder.
What are you doing right now?
Motivating your friend to come and join us.
You know, if you wanted their company, I would have been more than happy to, but I figured this was something you wanted to talk to with me. There's no reason to motivate anyone any more than they need to be.
Dawkins reaches over and opens the door, and he's like, "If you'd like to call out, you can."
I yell out, "Paisley, please come out here."
She hears, and before she goes, she'll say, I don't know where you are, but I'm gonna help your dad, okay? I promise." And then she'll follow and go out and go to where Joey is.
As you walk, basically, you see like the wolves have like two of them are right behind you, and like they line the hallway outwards. Joey, you cannot see them. To you, like Paisley is like very much like looking at something.
Yeah, I'm used to that.
I'm used to Paisley being able to see a lot of things that I can't.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you see the people that I described, Paisley. You see this tall, suited man with, again, olive complexion, and this older woman wearing this elaborate ritual garb. And the man looks at you and he's like, "Would you terribly mind joining us?"
No, I'd be glad to. She's not quite looking at him. She's almost like her head's down a little. Okay. Just tell me where to go.
Is you sort of like make your way out, the sight comes to you again, even when you don't want it to. And both of them are glowing incredibly brightly. Like you're accustomed to, Joey's already got like a very strong aura. Like all of the lupines you've been around are incredibly just vital. Like it's just brilliant colors. But these two, it's almost hard to look at them. The old woman even more than the man, but they're very. It's almost like a bug light, sort of.
Yeah, she's supposed to like walk like this.
Where do you sit, Rella? Do you sit right next to Joey? Do you try and sit separated? Like, where do you position yourself?
As close to Joey as Paisley can get. So if there's a chair, she'll like it across and then put it right there, and then just look around like it's okay to sit. And if nobody says anything, she'll sit.
The old woman sort of leans forward. She's like, "What's your name?"
Hi, hello. I'm Paisley.
How old are you, Paisley?
Like what kind of age? Like
trips around the sun, child, same as the rest of us.
I guess it's a little bit, maybe 30 some. I think it's that sounds about right.
Good. Okay. I know looks can be deceiving when it comes to your kind, and I just wanted to make sure. Dawkins speaks up. He's like, "You could have been 400 years old for all we know."
Oh, that's a very long time. I don't. She just doesn't even know what to say about living that long. It's an awkward conversation.
Tell me, and you also see this cloud raining down. And Joey, you realize the cloud's about half the size of what it was when she first put the stone down, as the rain keeps coming out the bottom of it. And she says, "What's the nature of your relationship with Joseph?"
Joey leans forward, and before Paisley can speak, and be like, "Is that relevant to this conversation?"
And she looks at you, and you see her eyes turn to wolf's eyes. Nothing else changes, but they turn to wolf's eyes, and she goes, "Highly."
It's okay. And she'll like put a hand on Joey, like maybe go to grab his hand, and she'll look right in her eyes, and she's like, and she'll be like, I love him.
She just like leans back in her chair and just like looks down, and she says, "Joseph, do you love her?"
Of course. When I said that there were people that they were helping me, Paisley is one of them.
And she like turns and looks at Dawkins, and he looks at her, and she goes, "I understand. Oh, Grandfather Thunder, grant me wisdom." Paisley, what has Joseph told you about what we are?
And wolves, the shadow lords, strong and smart, and everything that Joey is, everything that he is, big and powerful, but also thinking. I see it every night.
And she sort of nods. And she says, I'm prepared to render my verdict, Joseph.
I'm prepared to accept whatever charges and punishment that you have against me.
When she says this, Joey, you can see the wolves. They start to walk out from the inside of the house and they start to manifest, and they look like they are made out of mist and lightning. Like fog rolls in and coalesces like these wolves. And she says, you are my cousin, Joseph. And in many ways, you are an exemplary Shadow Lord. You are smart and strong and loyal and ruthless. You have done what it takes to have gotten to where you are and achieved what you have. And in that, you have gained our respect and our notoriety, and yet you are also quintessentially tainted by these things. And that requires purification. The loss of your child was our loss too. Did you ever consider that?
She wasn't one of us. She would have survived if she was. She was one of me. She was a part of me. She's still a part of me. And if you do feel that way, then you understand that she's still here. She's still here with all of us.
I, as a mother myself, I have buried 5 of my children. 4 of which died gloriously in the service of Gaia. Paisley, some believe we Shadow Lords lack the balls to face the worm head on and destroy evil where we find it, but those people are fools. We Shadow Lords are simply smart enough to strike at the right moment. Joseph, you must be punished. But also, I will do you a kindness. She reaches inside of her robe and she pulls out a very large knife. It's probably 18 inches flint. And she puts it down on the table in front of you. I'd come here to destroy that one. And she looks at Paisley. And I was going to make you do it. But I've seen in its eyes love, which I must admit I didn't know they were capable of, really. And she does, like, very much turn her head and look at you, Paisley.
She's staying very, very small and quiet and kind of pushing more up against Joey, but staying there, listening.
So perhaps there is something worthy of lasting there. And yet, blood is owed, Joseph. You must make an offering to Grandfather Thunder.
Joey reaches out and takes the knife. Who would you have it be?
She turns and looks at Dawkins, and he says, Joey, you know that the fight's not going well. The fight is not going well. We have lost cairn after cairn, and sept after sept has fallen. We can't really afford to lose too many more, or too many more who would answer the howl. He comes forward and he just like puts a hand on your shoulder. And he's like, right or left, man?
Left.
He pushes his coat to the side, and you see he also has a knife on his hip. And he's like, do you want me to do it, or do you?
I put my hand on the table and I look to Paisley and I don't know if you want to see this or be a part of this.
She'll reach out and she'll put a hand on either side of his face, and she's gonna be like, "You're gonna look at me the whole time, okay? And I'm gonna be right here, okay?"
I put the knife to my wrist. And I look up. And I swipe.
When you raise it to swipe, it ignites like it is made out of pure lightning. And when you swing down, you boom, and it goes through your hand and through your table and down into the ground. And it hurts, but it only bleeds a little bit.
Paisley will grab it right away, and she'll almost like try to like take off some of her like she's got like a sweatshirt on, and she's like trying to rip at it, and just kind of like trying to like triage it. She's like, "It's okay, it's okay, it'll be okay, it's okay," and she's just like kind of like holding it and making sure like it's okay, and then she'll like hug Joey like real hard, and just like not let go.
Mother Teague reaches down and she picks up your hand and she looks at it and holds it, and you see it grows in her hand into your full Krenos Shadow Lord hand, upturned. And she turns it over and she looks at it and she says, Grandfather Thunder has accepted your offering. And she holds it over the cloud, and just a couple of drops of your blood land on the cloud, and it turns red, and you see blood start coming out of it, and you can smell the vitae. And she says, Joey, would you like to be able to say goodbye to her?
I do every single night. I say goodbye to her. I talk to her.
I know you think if our blood was in her veins, she would have survived, but unfortunately, that's just not true, son. I remember I told you I buried 5 children. We Guru are strong, and she does put her hand on your shoulder, and she's like, but we're not invincible. Look, and she turns and points towards the door, and you see the wolves, the mist that is off of them, begins to flow towards the doorway, and you do see an outline appear of a small child. And it's like she's made out of lightning and cloud too. And she even looks at her hands like even she doesn't know. She's like,
I look up to her and I get up and I slowly walk over to her.
as you head, you realize she starts looking for like a place to hide. She's like,
No, come here. We don't need to play right now. Let's come here.
and she comes towards you like she's about to hug you, and then she stops and she sees the ruin of your arm hastily wrapped by Paisley, and she's
Shh, hey, come here. And my arms are wide out.
she does run in and hug you, and you feel her wrap her arms around you, and you feel almost this like electrical jolt kind of go through you when she's holding on to you.
And I hold the back of her head and I just press my face against the back of her against the top of her head, and I just start bawling. Just tears just stream down my face as I hold her in my arms. And I with my one hand, I pull her slightly away from her and I just look at her in the face and look at her eyes. Hey. You know I miss you, right? Every day.
I just make sure that you're not by yourself, Daddy. I love you.
I love you too. And I kiss her forehead.
Mother Teague walks over slowly and stands next to you, and she says, she can be with our ancestors, Joey. She belongs with her family. But she won't go unless you tell her it's okay.
Hey. Hey. I know how brave you are. I need you to be big and strong like me, okay? Can you do that? I want you to know that I'm going to be okay. And I've got someone with me. And I kind of lean back and I look over at Paisley. And then I look back at her. Hey, you can go home. No. And I look at Mother Teague and I look back at her. No, where I'll be one day, where you belong, where you can be at peace and you don't need to worry about me.
She kind of runs a finger over like the tears coming down your face, and you see the wolves. The wolves all start to turn into people. They stand up, and you see there are people of different ages, men, women, young, old. And Joey, you realize they are ancestors, that they just died at different ages. And one of them is a young boy, probably not much older than her. who walks over with a smile and just sort of extends his hand to her. And
Go
she
on.
looks at his hand and then looks at you.
You got this. Go show him how strong we are.
She stops and she turns and she runs into the house. And she comes back a second later with the #1 dad picture. And she like points at it and like points at you and goes,
I take it. I love you too. Go knock him dead.
and she looks at you again, Paisley, and she goes,
Paisley like runs over and holds Joey very, very hard, and she looks very serious at the little girl, and she's gonna be like, I have him. Don't worry. I'll be here. I'm a big, strong, and I've got fangs. And she like smiles and she shows her fangs. I'm a lot tougher than I appear. I'm small, but I'm super tough. And I'm gonna protect him.
when you say that, it's like a shudder goes through her, and she sort of like relaxes a little bit. She's like, "Bye, Daddy. I'll see you soon, okay? But not too soon."
Bye.
And she does hold her hand out for the little boy, who takes it. And Mother Teague comes up and puts her hand on her shoulder, Joey, and she says, "You're not alone, you know that? You still have your family."
I'm aware. You've made that abundantly clear.
She looks down at the knife still laying on the ground, and she's like, "You can keep that. I think you've earned it." She turns and starts to head towards the door, and you see the ancestors all sort of look at each other, and they all sort of like nod at you in their own ways, and they turn and they start walking towards the view over Long Beach, essentially off into the stars. And they walk and start to dissipate as they head that way. And she stops one last time and she turns back and she sort of, and she's gone.
I turn to Paisley and I just hug her as tightly as I can without hearing a pop.
I'm strong. You can squeeze hard. It's okay. It's okay. I'm here. I'm here, and she's where she needs to be, and you're where you need to be, and I'm here where I need to be.
I know. We just have a lot of planning to do now.
And that's a good place for us to stop. So thank you, Paisley, for joining us. Sorry, not sorry for the Fields ambush. But to tell the people who you are and where they can find you.
Hi, I'm Megan Murphy. I'm at QueueTimes on Twitter, at MurphyPop Art on Instagram, and MurphyPop.com is just the website.
She also has Patreon, so if you want to support her there, she does like coloring books and stuff like that, and stickers and all that other stuff.
Yeah, go there, support Paisley and all the things. By the way, during the finale, when we kept referring to the Baron of Party City, we never got to pay off the gag. The Baron of Party City is Paisley, by the way. So,
I control all the confetti and the Mylar balloons. The helium ones are a little weird. I'm working on it.
so yes, Megan is one of the players on my Patreon and the Patreon games and on the Discord. So thank you very much for jumping in here, and definitely the man of the hour. Who you are, where can they find you?
So my name's Jake, and you can find me on Twitter at IndigoQT, or you can find me here on QueueTimes, like a large portion of the time. We do a bunch of stuff. I'm just going to go over a quick schedule. Mondays is Clear Skies, which is Star Trek. Tuesdays is Hijinks and Handlebars. Because of everything that's going on, they're taking a little bit of a break and playing a couple other different games. Wednesdays coming up, we have Denver by Night, so check that out if it hasn't started
far
already.
enough in the viewer. Yeah, it might be done by the time
Yes.
you see this.
Check the VODs out.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Yeah, it was great. Thursdays were off. Fridays, when I have the motivation to get out of my PJs, I try and do Filthy Casual Fridays. But we're working on a couple things that Dave wants to be working on, which might fit perfectly in that slot. So we'll see what happens there. Sunday mornings, of course, is Long Beach by Night. Well, by this time, this is the end of Long Beach by Night, and we'll see what's happening next. I don't know yet, but we've got some time to figure it out, / future me. And then right after that is Court of Corvids, which is our Pathfinder 2nd edition game, which is the game I actually run. I GM it. It is a fantasy world where all of the major villains are based off of actual serial killers, cult leaders, and people that really existed in real life, but converted into a fantasy world. So have fun with that one.
So this is the end of season 2 of Long Beach by Night for us. Just like we came back in parallel with LA by Night this time, we will come back in parallel with LA by Night next time, and you will know when that is when I know. But in the meantime, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for taking this journey with us. Again, signal boost it. If you enjoy this, tell your friends. If you want to hang out with us and live the adventure, you can do that at patreon.com/BDaveWalters. And until then, do visit murphypop.com and buy all the things. Catch us on some of the other streams, and we will return for more silky smooth and uneventful adventures as soon as we can. Bye, y'all.
Bye.